Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? I'm back. Yeah, I was on a little hiatus. I had some issues with my electronics. Um, when I did my first little video, I didn't take into consideration things like space and whatnot. So anyway, with that said, I had to upgrade my electronics a little bit, and I'm back. And I want to talk to you guys about this situation with Miss Jasmine. Forgive me, I forgot her last name and I didn't write it down. But Miss Jasmine is the young lady who was allegedly drugged and raped in a nightclub in Atlanta in the middle of the dance floor. I saw this kind of trending yesterday and maybe the day before, but it was one of those, I kind of saw it, read the headline, thought how terrible it was, and that it was really a heavy subject that I didn't want to mess with. I didn't want to touch it. With that said, I had a couple of people ask me about it. Girl, have you seen this? Have you heard about this? Blah, blah, blah. So with that said, I was like, okay, well, maybe, people give a fuck what I think, and I should, talk about it. So with that said, I decided before I talked about it or gave any kind of opinion about it, I was going to do a little research because I had not watched her videos. Pardon me. And outside of what I saw online, I really didn't know what the full situation was. So anyway, with that said, Miss Jasmine was partying in a nightclub in Atlanta. Y'all know how that is. You're in a club, you're drinking, you're having a good time, you're partying, you run into people, that are fun or a good time. You kind of gravitate to them a little bit, hang out with them. I'm a female, so I'll give a female's perspective. Maybe if y'all have a good time, you might exchange numbers or, whatever as consenting adults you decide to do past that point. We've all been there. With that said, my understanding of the information that I gathered, y'all, this one was hard because any way you toss it up, it's really a fucked up situation. Excuse me for saying fucked up, but sometimes, you need those colorful expletives. Anyway, it's messed up any way you want to chalk it up. It's messed up on her part, in my opinion, and it's definitely messed up on his part, in my opinion. Basically, the narrative is that Jasmine was in a club. She was new to the town. She didn't really know anyone there, or at least that's what everybody is assuming. That's an assumption. She goes to this club. She starts drinking. She's having a good time. He gravitates or she gravitates. Her and some strange guy in the club gravitate to each other, start partying together. They're drinking. They're hot and heavy dancing. And, just partying. The reason why we know that is because there's a lot of video footage from Jasmine's page. So you assume from Jasmine's phone, she's in the video, she's holding the phone, and it was broadcasted from her page. So, of course, the assumption is that it's her. And it shows different, clips throughout the night of her partying and having a good time with this guy. Now, with that said, you can kind of tell as the night wore on, she got more drunk. Now, I'm not really sure about the him drugging her thing. I thought at one point that I had saw a picture, a screenshot of him holding the drink up with a pill in it. With that said, when I actually went to go do my little bit of research that I did not see that. So I'm not quite sure if that is something that is a fact, if that's what she's saying, or if that's what other people are saying. But we'll call it a possible drugging of the drinks. And basically her videos are of her party, kicking it, having a good time. She's kind of hugged up on the dude. He's behind her. Her butt is on him. You know, they're dancing. She's singing the lyrics, you know, the whole while she's holding the phone. Blah, blah, blah. In my opinion, she visibly gets more and more wasted as the night goes on. Fast forward to the video or the alleged video of the alleged rape. I want to word it right because I don't want to be in any drama. Okay, not that I would be, but you never know. Long story short with that is they're dancing on the dance floor. She's bent over. Apparently, she had showed earlier on a video that she didn't have any underwear on. I did not see that in what I watched, in the videos that I watched. So, here tells she had an earlier picture or video with no underwear on. Fast forward, they're on the dance floor, they're dancing. He's up on her butt. She's bent over. Mind you, the whole time she's still live and videotaping. And all of a sudden you hear a little bit of a scream. I say a little bit because it wasn't like, ah! You know, bloody murder like I feel like it should have been. I think that it would have been if it was me. Not that I'm judging, I'm just saying. But it was like, oh! And then next thing you know, she was like, help me, help me, help me, help me, please help me, which was very heart-wrenching and hard to hear. From my opinion, the help me part was sincere. It sounded like someone who was really begging for help. With that said, fast forward and then you see another video of her with the same guy. She's not freaking out as far as I can tell, which I think anybody would be. They're still together and they're in a different place. I read some people said it was a car. Some people said it was a building, a venue. I'm not really sure. But I do know that she was still with him after the alleged rape and that they left that club together. With that said, fast forward to, I believe, the next day, and she had posted, a few little graphic type things on her Facebook because, of course, your live is being streamed directly to your Instagram. So needless to say, the morning after, the video and shit is still there. Let me drink something, y'all. My throat dry. Excuse me, my bad. I'm human. I get thirsty. Especially when I'm running my mouth. Anyway, she posted something to the effect of, please don't call me or text me. Give me time to still gather myself. And then a few minutes after that, she posted that, just, I'm okay. So with all of that said, this is how I see it. And not to make light or to make jokes, but the best way I can put it with who I am, the way I can put it is, it's all fun and games until somebody slides a dick in you. Okay? So with that said, my personal opinion of what I saw is this. Young lady, newly single, apparently newly divorced, was also something that was going around. Out in a new city, kicking it, having a good time. obviously enjoying partying with this guy. You're scantily clad with no underwear on. I mean, scantily clad is one thing, but no drawers, honey. I mean, I'm not going to say that that's inviting somebody to take your pussy, but I'm just saying that it's there for the taking, like, easily. Okay? I'm not blaming nobody. I'm not saying it's nobody's fault. I'm just calling the facts. Okay? On top of the fact that you're clearly a little drunk, maybe even a lot of drunk, possibly even drugged, scantily clad, no underwear, dancing with your behind, your ass, all up on this man's genital region, okay? He drunk, you assume, and having a good time himself. You pushing all that up on him, and he just slid it on in. That's wild. You know what I'm saying? You got the people who say, oh, well, she put herself in that position. You got the people who say, oh, well, once she started to ask for help, at that point it was rape. He should have stopped. And I believe that both of those arguments hold some weight. I believe that both of them are true to a certain extent. I'm a very grown woman, a mother of 3, okay? I did very little clubbing in my younger days because I was at home raising my kids where the hell I was supposed to be. Not that I'm against clubbing. Ain't nothing wrong with shaking a tail feather every now and again, shaking a leg, as long as you don't let that become your life. But again, that's opinion. With that said, the few times in my life that I have been clubbing or in a club or out, having a good time, I've never been a drinker, so I'm not really one to get drunk. With that said, I have had a drink or two here or there. Most of the time, if I go out, I don't drink. I'm not one who needs to drink. I don't really get a kick out of drinking. It's just not, what I find to be fun. Okay? Not that I'm knocking anybody who does. Anyway, I can honestly say that I have never been in a situation where I was all up on the dance floor dancing and grinding with my butt all over a man that didn't at least have an opportunity to get it, okay? I don't feel like it is appropriate for any single woman by herself, clearly tipsy, in any establishment, backing that thing up on a stranger, okay? I also feel like even if I was in the club with no underwear on, backing that thing up on a stranger, that gives them absolutely no right to violate my vagina with his penis. Like, I still feel like that's not an okay thing to do, regardless of whether I have my ass on you or not. I mean, dancing is dancing, okay? Screwing is screwing. Do I think that this guy took advantage of her, knowing she was in a fucked up state, be it he drugged her or he didn't? I do. I think that he thought that they were kicking it together so hard. She was, dancing on him all nasty and hot. And, he's all hugged up on her from the back, and she's all leaned back in the nape of his neck. Like, I only do shit like that with my boyfriend. Like, no man can walk up behind me put his body on my body, and I'm gonna roll my head back all up into the nape of his neck. Like, that's the shit lovers do. I'm just saying. So I could see how maybe this guy could have been a predator, but I could also see how maybe this guy could have thought she was digging him like that, thinking with his little head instead of with his big head, as men so often have a tendency to do. Not that that's an excuse. I think it's never okay for a man to stick his private part in a female's private part without her saying, yes, come get this. I don't care if she's buck naked. Okay? And at that point, it is rape. Once he slid it in, she reacted the way she reacted and then proceeded to ask for help. That's rape. Regardless of whether she was recording it, regardless of whether she was inviting it through having her ass on him with no panties, pardon me, regardless of any circumstances, in my personal opinion, at the point where she proceeded to ask for help, mind you, she didn't say no. I'm just saying. The word no was never said. Ow! And help. Help me, help me, help me. Okay? I'm just saying, just stating the facts. At that point, it becomes rape, in my opinion. Now, I've heard, well, what if other people couldn't hear her? What if he couldn't hear her? And we all know, in a club, you can be sitting right next to a person and not hear shit that they saying. Y'all got to get ear to ear. And you still can barely hear. So I'm not going to say that he knew for sure that she wasn't with it by what she was saying. She didn't throw no elbows. She didn't go hysterical like she wasn't, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's a crazy situation. It's a very touchy subject. Far be it from me to assume that I can say whether this woman was raped or not. Excuse me, I gotta take a drink. A lot of people are arguing that just the fact that she continued to hold the phone and record it suggests that she was well aware of not only what was going on, but the amount of likes and clicks and views that she would get from it. Trying to get like Instagram famous or, some bullshit like that. I'm not saying that's what it is because I don't know. I will say that she did get a lot of likes and clicks and views and shares. And I will also say that I'm trying to figure out how to word this without being, without it sounding more fucked up than what it is. I also noticed that she did not attempt to get away. Sorry. With that said, there's the people who feel like, oh yeah, she basically gave it up on the dance floor and was scared that her husband was going to see it or what would happen when he saw it. So she, after the fact, tried to claim it was rape, even though she still left with this guy. That could also be the case as well. Who knows? Who freaking knows what the motive, if any, was behind this? I mean, I don't care. It's still fucked up. It's still a terrible thing to happen. it is still a violation of this woman's body. Clearly, when she proceeded to ask for help, at that point, she felt like something wasn't right about this situation. People don't just yell help because, you know. Could she have screamed and yelled and jumped and kicked and punched? Maybe, maybe not. Who's to say? Apparently, she was drugged or drunk or something, under the influence, to the point to where she possibly could not have defended herself. Was too out of it to defend herself. But she was still able to record it. So I don't know. I just think it's an awful situation all the way around. Please, please, please comment, like, and subscribe if you feel the need. I really want to know what other people think. Let's have a conversation about it. Ladies, do you feel like what she was doing led up to what happened to her and that she put herself in that position? Fellas, do you feel like if she's up on you, y'all fucked up in the club, and she ain't got no panties on, that is the invitation to slide it in? I mean, I don't know. There's so many different ways to look at it. It has a lot of angles to it. Right now, I'm just going to watch and see what happens. I read that they caught the guy, that he was in custody, if not still in custody. And I guess past that, we'll see. We shall see what happens. Either way, I feel bad for that girl. And I feel bad for this guy. Because at the end of the day, I feel like both of them made a stupid mistake. And sometimes stupid mistakes can not only follow you, but possibly ruin you for the rest of your life. I have a 23-year-old daughter. I would definitely feel away if this happened to her. And I'm sure I would feel like I don't care what she was doing. I don't care if she was laid out, spread eagle, buck naked in the middle of the dance floor. If she didn't invite you to have sex with her, then you raped her. I don't know. Drop down in the comments. Tell me what y'all think. Am I wrong? Am I looking at it wrong? Because I'm definitely trying to be objective and look at it from both points of view. At the moment when she said help, it was rape as far as I'm concerned. Let me know what you think. Hit me up.